Hello there, this is AnY Pony, and today is Audience Participation Day. If you follow me on DeviantArts or Tumblr, you might have seen my Bronalysis alignment chart I made not too long ago with Keyframe, because, well, I'm not entirely sure. She wanted to know how exactly those alignments have to be interpreted, so I started explaining, and before long we started placing our friends and other known YouTubers into the chart. This one got a bit of attention, and a few days later Josh Scorcher came along with his own Magic the Gathering based chart. Pretty interesting as well, but fair warning, if you're not into Magic, this 5-dimensional chart requires a bit of research to understand. Now, putting people into already established alignment charts is already pretty fun. However, it is only the beginning. Stuff really gets interesting when you start making your own charts with dimensions that relate a bit more to the people you want to pigeonhole, because let's face it, no matter how toxic, destructive or pervertly sadistic some of my fellow YouTubers, or at least their online personas, are, barely anybody truly qualifies for the label evil. And I didn't want to fill up the chart with the evil alter egos some of us have created. So instead, why not categorize YouTubers by criteria that are actually relevant to their profession, like type of analysis they produce, their on-screen presence, their usual outlook on things, and last but not least, their voice. And this is where you guys come in. Obviously, Keyframe and I already put all our friends into neat little boxes with a little bit of help from Golden Fox and Toon Critic, but first of all, what is the fun of only having the input from a small group of similar-minded people? Second, we can only judge the people we are familiar with ourselves, and believe it or not, with all the Bronalysis out there, this is a rather limited portion of the community. So I decided to ruin the new year for myself and open the floodgates for all of you to leave your votes. Now let me explain how you can vote, what you can vote on, and how an alignment chart works in general, in case you're not familiar with the concept. At the end of the video you will have a chance to take a closer look on the 4 new charts. And here is how you can leave a vote. First, write down the name of the YouTuber you want to vote on. Keep in mind I might not know them at all, and some of them have rather similar names, so you better go with the official and complete name. For example, if you just type Key, this could be either Keyframe or Keychi. Also, if in doubt, because a creator goes by multiple names, go for a double name like Anthony C/Cosmologic. Bet some of you didn't know that his pony-sona is not called Anthony C as well, am I right? Also, while I keep saying Bronalysis and YouTuber, you are not limited to those. For example, Kiefer and I included Ilya Leonov, aka Morgan Freepony, in our voice chart and only there, and he has really nothing to do with Bronalysis. After putting down a name, leave your vote by writing down the alignments you see this person in. Here are the rules. Obviously, you can only vote once per content producer per chart. To keep it reasonable, let's say you can vote for up to 10 candidates. That's still up to 40 votes you can leave if you want to place all 10 in all 4 charts, what is not required to count. I might raise this number later on if I think I can handle more. Please keep all your votes in one place. If you feel like coming back and adding some of your unused votes at a later time, reply to your own original comment. Makes it easier for you to keep the overview, easier for me to count it later on, and you are less likely to be accused of cheating. Talking about cheating. Cheaters get disqualified. Duh! Vote multiple times for the same content producer on the same chart, or use multiple accounts to get more than the 40 votes, and all your votes get dismissed. But why should you even try to vote multiple times for the same content producer in the same chart unless you try to create a result deviating from the actual popular opinion? Well, for a content producer to make it into a chart, they need to get at least 10 votes for that particular chart. I might lower or even raise this number depending on the amount of partaking voters and how crowded or empty the charts turn out. If there are enough different candidates, maybe I'll also create 2 versions of every chart, one for the underdogs. Now, what exactly can you vote on? First, the type of content your candidate makes. Horizontally, are we more looking at in-depth analysis, deep thoughts, brain food for the viewer? Or rather something casual, easy to digest, something to chill out to while watching? Vertically, is the focus on entertainment, a wild firework of jokes, silly writing, explosions? Or would you call it soothing instead, something relaxing to calm down to after a long day? Next is the on-screen presence of the candidate. Horizontally, is he or she going for a sexy angle, being a bit flirtatious, some innuendos and the dirty joke every now and then, not holding back on the sensual? Or do they behave more safe, creating a more family-friendly, innocent, or maybe even a bit childlike character? Vertically, are we talking extrovert or introvert? A person who has no problem going out on stage and entertaining the masses, or rather somebody who takes a more reserved approach? Number 3. What kind of outlook does the candidate present in their work? Horizontally, does a clear focus on the positive dominate their presentation? Do they even find the one good thing in an otherwise awful medium? Is the overall tone that of happiness? Or is the perspective more of a critical nature? Is nitpicking or maybe even complaining part of their routine? Is this person addressing the flaws they see? Are they not afraid to call a bad thing what it is? Vertically, is the outlook driven by emotion? Are the arguments presented based on feelings and subjective interpretation? Do we get a lot of personal anecdotes and I like this and I totally dislike that arguments? Or is the perspective, no matter if positive or critical, rather objective? And I don't mean truly objective, since even I, a big defender of objective quality, would never claim that a single person could ever completely overcome their subjectivity. No, the question is, does the candidate thrive to be objective? Make actual arguments with solid reasoning behind them, looks at them from multiple angles, even including the assumption to be wrong. Do they make an effort to differentiate between what is fact and what is their opinion? And last but not least, the voice. Horizontally, do we have somebody loud who is carrying around quite the powerful instrument in their chest and whose biggest worry is that the audio doesn't clip even when they talk normally? Or maybe somebody who has a natural tendency to shout or scream most of their lines? Or is it somebody with a rather quiet voice who needs an amplifier to be heard at all? Somebody who barely ever raises their voice? Vertically, is your candidate's voice very emotive? Does it show a wide range of tone? Does it have a certain melody to it? Or is it rather evenly, coming in a constant tone without any wild up and downs? Now, all these pairs have marked the opposite end of their respective dimensions, but often enough a candidate does not clearly match one side or another, being it that they are rather neutral without telltale signs, or that they simply manage a good balance between the two extremes and fall right in between. For those cases, there are the middle rows and columns. At this point I want to make this clear, not a single alignment on any of my charts is by nature good or bad. A casual soothing video can be as well written and valuable as an analytical entertaining one. It just fulfills a different purpose and is maybe for a different audience. When you vote, vote how you honestly think about the candidate after a moment of consideration, and not how you feel it is expected or how they might want to come across. But maybe you are still asking yourself, what's all this about? The original alignment chart with the dimensions good to evil and lawful to chaotic comes from the Dungeons & Dragons franchise. It is often used to determine how a character would react in a certain situation according to their moral alignment. Is somebody rather obedient to the law, or at least some kind of fixed codex, or are they willing to go as far as breaking the law in order to achieve their goals? And are those goals altruistic and noble, or more self-serving and maybe even destructive? And here is what this means in detail. Lawful good. The law-obedient goody two-shoes, always playing by the rules, clean language, helpful by nature, the nice guy or gal next door. Neutral good. Still good at heart, helpful and caring, but a bit more loose when it comes to law and order. Chaotic good. The renegade among the do-gooders. They might still have good intentions, but they only listen to their own conscience and don't care about the rules. Lawful neutral. Obedient to order and structure above all, even above good and evil. True neutral. They just do what they think is right with no clear leaning towards law, chaos, good or evil. Or they are truly dedicated to neutrality. Chaotic neutral. The true rebels. No caring about right or wrong, just doing what they want. Lawful evil. Primarily interested in their own goals without care for who they hurt, but still playing by the rules, or at least their own interpretation of them, partially to be able to put themselves morally above others, partially to hide behind the law from those who oppose them. Neutral evil. Doing what they want without remorse as long as it serves their goals. Not as willfully destructive as chaotic evil, but also not caring about any established order. Chaotic evil. They do whatever their unpredictable, vicious and lustful minds tells them. It's also known as the demonic alignment. Guess how Aeon made it in here. Well then, now it is time to let you all loose to vote on the 4 charts I created. I'll put them on screen for a bit, but you can also find links to the files in the description below, either to check them in peace or to create your very own versions of them, if you are afraid that your candidates are too exotic to make it into the official chart, that your opinion is too unusual to be reflected by the final results, or simply just because it's fun to make those charts. For now, let's say you can vote until the end of January. If I postpone the deadline, I will put it in the description below. That's also where you find the current official number of candidates you can vote for, as well as the number of votes a candidate needs to make it into a chart. And if you have any ideas for dimensions for other charts, let me know in the comments as well. This is AnY saying see you soon.